Hey leaders, making Topsail Island famous today. We're going to get right to talking about onboarding and how not to do it. I'm going to talk specifically from a leadership perspective today, of course. It really goes back to the recruiting process and the hiring process, two very important steps in getting people to that point of onboarding. I got two good friends here in Wilmington, super talented at the recruiting side of it. You got Corey Lewis of Cape Fear Jobs, really talented in terms of finding the right people to fit in your organization and the good matches out there for people to put on your team. Really good at recruiting at Cape Fear Jobs. You can find them on the website. And then Lisa Leith with Leith HR Consulting, Leath. Lisa's a rock star on the HR side of things. In that whole journey of bringing somebody on and integrating them onto your team, she's got great techniques on the job descriptions and onboarding and the real process, the HR process of doing that right. She puts the human in human resources. You can find her on the web as well. So let's get right to it. How not to do it. First off, you really need to think of this as a journey for a person, right? It's a roller coaster ride, or it's a journey that a person is about to take in your organization. And the journey consists of recruiting, hiring, onboarding, and retention, that they go through all of those steps and they're deliberate. And you think about the transition. Okay, you've recruited them. All right, we want to do the hiring now. We're going to hire them. Once they are hired, then you get them into the onboarding and their phases, and you transition them into each one of those phases. Really, really important. But think about it as a journey and not just one specific thing. I've seen too many organizations that have a great interview with somebody, great conversation, and that's it. They put them on the team, and in a few months everything goes sour, and they end up having turnovers issues because they just didn't do it right. How not to do it? Well, how not to do it is really just not to think about it at all. You hire somebody, they got the right qualifications, the good fit on paper. Everything's great, so they show up day one. There's your office. Good luck. They don't know anything. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. So let's get to how you do it appropriately from a leadership perspective. I'm going to give you a couple things today to consider, to keep this simple, but to really get it right. If you do one thing right, if nothing else, if you get this one thing right, you'll really, I think, go a long way. Let's juxtapose yourself in their position. Consider yourself being them for a moment. Maybe reflect back onto the day that you walked into that organization and what you were feeling, or when you started a new job somewhere. There's probably a lot of angst inside of them, but whether they've got the right job, they found the right fit, or whether they're good enough for the role they're about to fulfill, and that they're going to perform to the level that they need to. They don't want to ruffle any feathers or come off as demanding or ask too many questions, because it might make them look stupid. They may think they're going to anger somebody or inconvenience somebody. They don't even know where to turn, right? So this brings me to number 2, and that is sponsorship. Assign a sponsor. Marianne, welcome to the team. This is Suzanne. She's going to be your sponsor, and she's going to help you integrate onto this team every step of the way. And you give Suzanne a checklist. And so she's got that checklist to be able to walk her through the process and check each of the blocks, and then come back at the end of it and say, okay, are we complete? Do you have what you need? Do you feel there's any gaps? Is there anything you don't know? But it's almost like handling a new infant, somebody that's almost to the point of being helpless, doesn't know anything at all. Walk through every one of those, a key to the office, an email account, all the reports they might need to see, access to the website, ability to put stuff on the calendar. Think through everything. Be detailed about it. Don't miss, a single thing. Sponsorship, really important. We had sponsorship in the Army, and it usually started back at the losing installation. Somebody was leaving Fort Richardson, Alaska, and going to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Well, the receiving sponsor at Fort Bragg would contact the soldier at Fort Richardson, Alaska, and start talking to them early about schools and housing and all the things that families wanted to know about to integrate into the new organization. We didn't always get it right. Soldiers would show up a lot of times without any sponsorship whatsoever. But I'm proud to say that at least have that program in the Army, and you ought to have that in your organization. And it's not rocket science; it's simple stuff to do. But if you do nothing else, assign a sponsor to that new person showing up. Don't assume anything. That would be my point number 3 to you. Don't assume it that they know acronyms, that they understand how the meeting flows, and that they know where they need to be, all of the different things required of them. Never assume that they know that. A good friend of mine says, when you assume, you make an ass, ASS, out of you and me, assume. Never assume. Always ask and see if they know, and then teach them through it. At the end of this, maybe this is my point number 4, is ask for some feedback. Think about, a new person who's been in the organization for 3 weeks, and you as the leader saying, hey, come with me a minute. I'd like some feedback from you. I'm glad you're here on the team, and we're so pleased to have you. What do you see that's not working around here? Boy, wouldn't that be powerful in terms of integrating somebody and showing them that you value what they have to say. And a fresh set of eyes looking at your organization from the outside coming in. Really powerful. Ask for some feedback. Be really great ways to integrate people onto your team. Hey, you want some more? Pick up my book. It's Personal, Not Personnel: Leadership Lessons for the Battlefield and the Boardroom. You can get it on Amazon. And there's much more in there in terms of how to invest in the people of your organization, not human resources, not talent pools, real people in your organization. Okay, hope that helps. And good luck to you out there. Make it personal.